Praise you, Lord. Praise God in his sanctuary. Praise him in his mighty heavens. Praise him in his mighty work. Praise him in his unequal greatness. Praise him in a blast of ram horn. Praise him in his violin and harps. Praise him in his tambourines and bands. Praise him with string instruments and flutes. Praise him with clashing cymbals. Praise him with loud Chinese cymbals. Let everything that has breath praise the Lord. Praise the Lord.
This morning. Come on, tell somebody else. I'm so glad you're in the house this morning. Hallelujah. We get ready to praise the Lord. Amen. Come on and put your hands together. The Bible said that everything that has breath praise the Lord, amen. So if you got activity on your limbs, you ought to be clapping your hands this morning. I don't know what you come to do. Let me hear you say, I don't know what you come to do. Yeah, I don't know what you come to do. Let me hear you say, came to praise the Lord this morning. Amen. It feels good this morning to get up and praise the Lord. Amen. Amen. Hallelujah. Come on, Sister Sam.
Amen. Let's give God a hand clap of praise this morning. Amen. Let's give him a hand clap of praise this morning. He's worthy to be praised. Amen. We know it's raining outside, but it's going to be warm and toasty inside because we're just going to praise him. Amen. Amen. Here we go. Oh, Lord, you are my shelter. Oh, Lord, you are my shelter. Oh, the peace that I Yeah.
blessings that you bestowed upon us. Not because we've been good, because of your grace and your mercy was sufficient, Lord. We thank you right now, Lord. Lord, whatever is going on outside, Heavenly Father, we ask that you touch right now. Lord, touch and heal right now, Lord.
In the name
Lord,
of
we ask that this fellowship, this worship this morning, Heavenly Father, that you are in the midst, Heavenly Father.
Yes.
Lord, we know you're here because we can feel your presence.
Yes.
Lord, whatever anyone is going through today, Lord, we ask that you just have them even at the altar today, Lord. Lord, you say, cast your cares upon us because I care for you. So, Lord, we're taking at your word this morning. Lord, bless the preached word this morning, Heavenly Father. Let it fall on fresh ears and open hearts and fertile ground, Heavenly Father. Lord, you said, if I be lifted up, you draw all men today, Lord. Lord, we're asking that someone in the midst of their sins come out of the wilderness today, Heavenly Father. Lord, we thank you and we love you, and we can't say it enough. Hallelujah to your name, Lord. In the mighty name of Jesus, that we pray this prayer. Amen, amen. Hallelujah.
This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Even though it ain't climate out there, it's fair weather in here. The Lord is good, isn't he? Greater is he that's in me than he that's in the world. All right, this time we'll have our mission and education offering. You're in the hands of the usher at this time. That's a bad situation there. I think we had that deep seated type of racism in America. And we're talking about this morning, the Sunday school lesson, talking about breaking down barriers. We have to break down barriers. We need to witness to other people, other races, other cultures. We need, because Jesus loves everybody, regardless of color. It doesn't matter to him, regardless of race. The Lord loves everybody. And we should pray for that, because the Lord is able to do all things well. bow our heads in prayer. We thank you, Lord, again for this opportunity we have to come and worship you in spirit and in truth, Lord. And then, Lord, we ask you for to bless these gifts. Let these gifts be used for the upbuilding of your kingdom here on earth as it is in heaven. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. The scripture says, where there are 2 or 3 who are gathered in his name, that he's in the midst. Ask and ye shall receive, seek and ye shall find, knock and the door shall be opened unto us. There are several requests that have been made. Latasha Bates and children, Dominic Moore, the Judge family, the Gordon family, the Colvin family, the Williams family, the Holloway family, the Price family, the Hampton family, Wiley, Johnson, and Raleigh. Now, we ask right now at this time, if you would come to the front and we can pray to the Lord, or you can just stand by where you are. You know, one thing I've learned about St. Mark Baptist Church is that we are a praying church, and that prayers get answered through St. Mark Baptist Church because we have saints of God. And when you have saints of God, God moves. Just like he moved this morning, when we talked about Philip, he was strong spiritually. And that's why we come to church. We don't come to Bible study to get stronger and stronger in the Word of God. And knowing Jesus Christ and having a personal relationship with him. Just like you have a personal relationship with your spouse and your children and your friends, have a personal relationship with Jesus Christ. And we also want to pray for all the teachers that will be returning back to school this week. Because I know the ISDS is an awesome task. Let's bow our heads in a word of prayer. Thank you, Lord, right now, Lord, for just waking us up in our right minds, Lord. Starting us on our way, Lord Jesus. Thank you right now for your anointing right now, Lord. Let that Holy Spirit right now, that Paraclete come alongside and assist us this morning, Lord Jesus. Father, we give you the glory this morning, Lord, for what takes place this morning, Lord. Thank you right now for the praise and worship team, Father, that started us off right now, Lord. And then, Lord, I ask you to be with the man of God that preaches your word, Lord. Use him to preach the word of God right now, Lord. And in fact, Lord, we have a lot of requests, Lord. Several different families, Father, have made requests, Lord. And God, I know you know, Father, before we can ask what we have need of. I ask right now, Lord, that thou would address all those concerns right now in the name of Jesus Christ of Nazareth. Because, Lord, I know that you are able to do all things well right now, Lord. Thank you, Jesus, for your goodness right now, Lord. Thank you, Lord, for your mercy right now, Lord. Thank you right now for your grace right now, Lord. If it had not been for the Lord on our side, tell me where will we be, Lord? Thank you, Jesus, Lord. We can rejoice in your name right now, Lord. And Lord, right now, Lord, I ask you to bless the overseer of this church, Dr. Allen D. Madison II, Lord. Touch him, Father, with your Holy Spirit right now, Lord. Bless his wife Florence right now. Bless all of his children and grandchildren right now, Lord Jesus. Father, we ask you to bless all the deacons right now. All the trustees right now, Lord Jesus. All the ushers right now. Bless members, Lord. And right now, Lord, we bless all the members of this church, Lord. Thank you, Lord, for the saints here at St. Mark Baptist Church, Lord. Thank you for the prayers right now. Getting through, Lord. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. For your goodness, Lord. Thank you, Jesus. Praise your name right now, Lord. Thank you, Jesus. Now, Lord, let your Holy Spirit intercede with the Holy Spirit right now and pray for us right now, Lord. For these that we fail to pray for us, saints of God right now. In the name of Jesus Christ, the only begotten Son of the Father right now, full of grace and truth. Thank you, Jesus. Amen.
How many of you know we serve a great God? Amen. We serve an awesome God. I don't know about you, but I don't never want the rocks to cry out for me. So while I got this chance, I'm going to always give him praise. Amen. Hallelujah. Come on and put your hands together and help us praise God this morning.
Holy water. Let's give this choir another round of applause. Now let's give the Holy One a bigger hand clap together. This is a time in our service when we would like to acknowledge all visitors. If you are visiting with us this morning, would you please stand and share with us your name and where you're from? All family? Amen. I'd like to share the following announcements with you. The North Texas Food Bank and the St. Martin Food Program will distribute food on Thursdays, August 17th and August 31st from 12 o'clock p.m. to 2 o'clock p.m. August is National Immunization Awareness Month. The 9th Annual Women's Conference, hosted by the Deaconess Ministry, will be on Saturday, August 19th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. here at the church. The theme is Growing Together in Unity, Psalms 133:1 and Ephesians 4:3. The donation is $20 and tickets are now available. The Usher Board and Health Ministry Annual Day will be on Sunday, August 20th, 2017. The theme is What You Do, Do It Well. And the scripture is Colossians 3:23. The guest speaker will be Pastor Johnny McGee, Friendship Missionary Baptist Church. The Tabletop of Elegance Luncheon and Kingdom Builders Awards will be on Saturday, September 9th from 11 a.m. to 1 o'clock p.m. in the St. Mark Educational Center. The donation is $25 and tickets are available from the Women's Ministry. If you are interested or plan to do a table based on a biblical theme, please see Sister Judy Bingham. The Fellowship of Churches of which St. Mark is a part of will be presenting Unity in the Community Fashion Share. The purpose is community outreach and soul winning for Christ. This event is scheduled for Saturday, September 16, 2000, 10:00 a.m. until 11 o'clock a.m. at Greater Bethlehem Baptist Church, 7031 Corny Road, Dallas, Texas 75227. The phone number is 214-388-7979. Volunteers are needed for registration, witnessing, distribution of clothing, health, and food preparation. Each of the 5 churches that make up this organization are asked to collect clothing and shoes for children and adults, especially men, for this occasion. Manpower will be needed, so if asked, please consider saying, I will help. Thank you, St. Mark Benevolence Ministry, Sister Barbara Young, chairperson. Don't throw away anything. Clean out your closets, cars, and attics, because it's that time again. The 4th annual garage sale, sponsored by the Pastors Aid Committee, will be on Saturday, October 28th, starting at 7 a.m. in the church's parking lot. The donation is $20 for a space and $25 if you need a table. Let's start getting items ready so we can make it better than ever. We want to thank you in advance for all your support, Sister Sandra Williams, President. The youth have been invited to Zion Hill Youth Revival on Monday, August 14th at 7 o'clock p.m. All youth and parents that are interested, please see Reverend Loftus after morning worship. The Matron Ministry will be offering food items after morning worship service. True Believers Missionary Baptist Church, 50th church anniversary and homecoming, the year of Jubilee. Theme, running a race until the end, Philippians 3:12-16. We are the members of True Believers Baptist Church have come to our 50th year of existence in this great community as a body of believers. We have great adventures, mountaintop experience, and valley lows. We won battles and lost a few too. We won souls while others have gone home to rest in the Lord. Our beloved 5th pastor, Calvin Jackson Jr. in 2015. Through it all, to God be the glory. We invite you to come worship and be a part of this great celebration as we reflect, celebrate, and run this race until the end. Let us share our history of how God has blessed us through what a church body has endured during kingdom building for 50 years. Guest churches and pastors. Pre-annual day, Sunday, August 13th, 10 o'clock a.m., our pastor, Rodney Taylor Sr. August 13th, 3 o'clock p.m., Pastor Alan Madison, St. Mark Baptist Church. Annual and Jubilee Day, Sunday, August 20th, 10 o'clock a.m., Pastor J.J. Johnson, TPBC, 4th Pastor. August 20th, 3 o'clock p.m., Pastor W.L. Mitchell, United Missionary Baptist Church. We ask that all old, new, and future members come and celebrate this momentous occasion of worship. May God bless you and keep you, yours in Christ. Pastor Rodney Taylor Sr. New Friendship Missionary Baptist Church, you are invited to our revival, Sunday, August 13, 2017 at 11 o'clock a.m., Monday, August 14, 2017 at 7:30 p.m., and Tuesday, August 14, 2017 at 7:30 p.m. Our guest speaker, Rev Benjamin Haley, pastor of Union Baptist Church, Allentown, Pennsylvania. Thanks for the kind words and cards during the loss of my uncle and cousin. May God continue to bless you all. Sister Latasha Bates and the Bates family. Immediately after the Food for Thoughts, Brother Threets will have a quick word. Food for Thought, subject, Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd, that's relationship. I shall not want, that's supply. He maketh me lie down in green pastures, that's rest. He leadeth me beside the still waters, that's refreshment. He restoreth my soul, that's healing. He leadeth me in the path of righteousness, that's guidance. For his name's sake, that's purpose. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of the death, that's testing. I will fear no evil, that's protection. For thou art with me, that's faithfulness. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me, that's discipline. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies, that's hope. Thou anointest my head with oil, that's consecration. My cup runneth over, that's abundance. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, that's blessing. And I will dwell in the house of the Lord, that's security. Forever, that's eternity. Face it, the Lord is crazy about you. May everyone be blessed and have a blessed week.
Good morning, St. Mark. We just wrapped up our 11th annual back to school band on yesterday. After each batch, we try to come back and review the status of our batches to the church. Now, the church has participated in this for every year we've been in this, and it's only right that we come back and let you know the status of it. So we try and do this. On Sunday, this past Sunday, the 6th, we donated school supplies and shoes to our children here at St. Mark. And we donated 60 pairs of shoes to St. Mark children last Sunday. And the same with the school supplies. The community, we donated 150 packs of school supplies on yesterday. And we donated 100 pairs of shoes to the community. You know, just a blessing to see the smile on some of the children's faces. To see them putting their new shoes on and trying them out and looking at other shoes and comparing them to other shoes. I like these better than those. You know how children are. It was just wonderful to see that. We were able to cut 11 haircuts yesterday. We did 11. We only had one barber yesterday, the other one didn't make it. So Sister Erin was here. She's that faithful one. And I think she enjoyed it. In our evangelism and prayer room, we didn't have anybody that requested prayer, but we did pass our tract and prayer cards. So we did make sure they got it. For our donations, we had a donation from Sam's Club. They donated a $40 gift card. Walmart donated a $100 gift card. Home Depot, they donated $50 in supplies. They don't have school supplies, but what they do have is materials that we can use around the church, like painted materials and stuff like that. So they were able to give us those types of supplies. The Buckner Foundation donated 187 pairs of shoes. definitely want to thank them for that. They've been faithful each year that we've been requesting shoes to give us those shoes, and we're thankful. This is all just a blessing from God. It has nothing to do with me or you or what have you. This is God. So that's what a praise is called. Chef's Dairy gave us 240 little small individual cartons of juice. We had apple juice and orange juice. We were able to pass those out to the families, the children, and the parents. So that was nice to do something like that. And we had donations from the church. The church, they turned in $95, through payroll that we did pick up that. So actually it was 75, and then we had another 15 that we got from individuals. So we thank them for that. And we definitely thank the congregation for the supplies they brought in. In the past, a couple of years, we've been getting school supplies from Carpenter Heights Baptist Church. This year, we weren't able to get it. They weren't able to get those supplies, but St. Mark came through. We actually donated more school supplies this year than we did last year when we had that abundance coming from there. So that tells you how powerful, God's work is. So he's really working through this. We just want to thank all of our volunteers that came out yesterday and throughout the week as we were putting this thing together. And we'd like for all of them to stand. Whether you were here on that Wednesday or Thursday, or you were here yesterday, or even working with them last Sunday. Stick with this. We want to make sure that we help our kids. The children, we got to help our children. And it comes from us. Not only help them, we got to teach them also. And we're finding that we're seeing the results of not teaching that with some of the stuff that happens. So let's make sure that we teach our children. When they go back to school, make sure they go back with the right message from home, so that the teacher don't have to raise them and teach them. Thank you.
If y'all know the blood still work, give a Lord a hand. I want to thank our choir this morning. Helping to set the tone and tenor for the worship service. And we thank our ushers too. What would we be without our ushers? Amen. Some of us couldn't find our seat if we didn't have our ushers. So we thank God. Well, we're doing walk time this morning. We're getting down the road today. But we want to thank God. God is good. A lot of times He is good. I don't plan to be before you long today, but I do believe there's a word from the Lord. If you would turn back with me to the book of Romans. The book of Romans, chapter 12. And I want to read some selected verses of Scripture. In Romans chapter 12 in particular, verses 11 through 13. Then we drop down and read verses 15 and 16. So Romans chapter 12, verses 11 through 13, and then verses 15 and 16. And if you gotta say that. So reading from the NIV, it reads like this. Paul says, "Never be lacking in zeal, but keep your spiritual fervor, serving the Lord. Be joyful in hope, patient in affliction, faithful in prayer. Share with God's people who are in need. Practice hospitality." Verse 15, "Rejoice with those who rejoice. Mourn with those who mourn. Live in harmony with one another. Do not be proud, but be willing to associate with people of low position. Do not be conceited." May God bless each of you, the reading of His Word, the hearing of His Word, but most importantly, the doing of His Word. Ushers, you've done a great job today. We want to thank you for your service. On last time when we stood before you, we introduced the topic of right relationships. Y'all remember that? And we pointed out how in this passage of Scripture, Paul gives us at least 5 admonitions to ensure that we have the right relationships one with the other. And we discovered on last time that fundamental to having a right relationship with others is love. And so Paul starts out in verses 9 and 10 by admonishing us to love genuinely. Y'all remember that? Because really our failure to love one another casts doubt on our professed love for God. Because John says, how can we say we love God who we've never seen, and yet we hate our brother who we see daily? He said it just doesn't add up. But today we want to look at 3 more of these 5 admonitions that Paul has given us as relates to having a right relationship. And we have to circle back at some other time, Sam, or and look at the 5th and final admonition. But Paul starts out in verse 9 by admonishing us to love genuinely. Then he moves on, and he issues a second admonition in verses 11 and 12. He said, not only should we love genuinely, he said, but we should also serve diligently. It's right there in the text. After having gone up 3 games to nothing in the NBA Finals, the Golden State Warriors, they walked up on a beatdown by the Cleveland Cavaliers in Game 4. Anybody watch that series? Before they knew it, in Game 4, Cleveland had scored a record 49 points. Not in the first half, in the first quarter. You got some teams can't put that up in 3 quarters, but Cleveland put up 49 points in the first quarter. And I want to suggest, St. Mark, I want to suggest that really the game was over with at that point because Golden State never could recover. They never could recover. And I want to suggest that the reason why Cleveland was able to put the beat down on Golden State like they did in Game 4, was because Cleveland came into Game 4 with their effort and energy and enthusiasm up here, while Golden State's effort, energy and enthusiasm was down here. Yeah, see, they thought, Golden State thought, they had become complacent. They had become comfortable by the virtue of having gone up 3 games to nothing. Now, I wasn't disappointed, St. Mark. I wasn't disappointed that Golden State lost Game 4. I was disappointed in how they lost Game 4. But we know between Game 4 and Game 5, they made the necessary adjustments, and history was made at that point. I brought that up, St. Mark, because we too like Golden State. We too can run the risk of becoming comfortable and complacent in our service to God. Because we think just because we've had past success in our walking with Him, we think just because we've had past success in our service to Him that we can coast, we can cruise. Do I have the witnesses in the house? The rest of the way. But Paul, he admonishes us to be fervent in spirit. In other words, Paul is saying to us that our temperature for the serving of the Lord should always be at a boiling point. Because the Bible teaches us that lukewarm service, lukewarm temperature does not sit well with the Lord. So Paul admonishes us to be fervent in spirit. Now, St. Mark, I will be the first one to admit that life has its way of beating us down. Anybody know what I'm talking about? It just seems like there's not enough hours in the day. You got so much on you. You got so much you're trying to get done. Trials and tribulations, they have their way of not only wearing you down, but weighing you down. And I don't want to live in the real world. And I don't want to feel the burdens of life. I'll be the first one to admit that life can and will beat you down. But Paul says that there are 3 things. There are 3 things, St. Mark, that we can do to help ward off life beating us down. Can I just preach this the way I want to do it? He says, first thing we should do is right there in the text, we should rejoice in hope. And unlike the world, St. Mark, the church has hope. And that's why Paul told the church at Thessalonica, we shouldn't sorrow as if we have no hope. We have hope, St. Mark. And the reason why we have hope is because our hope is in the Lord. As a matter of fact, St. Mark, our future is better than our past. I say that because all of the Lord's promises, all of the blessings that he has stored up for us are waiting on us in glory. And so whatever it is that we may not have right now, the Lord has already promised that he's going to reward us when we get to be in the very presence of the Lord, where we'll be able to lay all of our burdens down. Do I have any witnesses in the house today? Our future, unlike the world, our future is brighter than our past because of the hope that we have in the Lord. And Paul says, church, if we rejoice in hope, he says, secondly, we should be able to be patient in our affliction. Even the choir sings a song, trouble don't last always. Am I right, choir? Weeping may endure for a night, but joy is going to come in the morning. And so with the knowledge and with the understanding that we have hope, and our hope is built on nothing less than Jesus' blood and righteousness, it all enables us to be able to be patient in the trials and the tribulations that we may find ourselves going through. And Paul says, if we rejoice in hope, if we be patient in our affliction, he says, thirdly, we should be faithful in our prayer. Saint Mark, for the sake of clarity, can I be redundant this morning? Prayer is a valuable resource that God has given to every believer. I say that because it's through prayer that we're able to connect to the provisions that the Lord has already provided for us. It's through prayer, St. Mark, that we can appropriate whatever resources God has for us for whatever we're going through. We serve a God, St. Mark, who knows yesterday, today, and tomorrow. And because of his foreknowledge, he already knows what it is that we're going to come up against. And because of that foreknowledge, he already puts in place on day 1, day 2, day 3, whatever resources, whatever provisions we need. So that when we get to that day, all we need to do is go down and pray. And it's through prayer that the Lord will allow us to connect with the resources that we need. Life can beat us down. Life can wear us down. Life can weigh us down. But if we would just pray, we will find the strength, the resources that we need. God said, Barry, you don't have to do it all by yourself. St. Mark, you don't have to do it all by yourself. Paul says if we're going to have the right relationship, whether it be with each other or with God, he says we need to love genuinely. He said we also need to serve diligently. The Lord deserves our best, St. Mark. And Paul says the temperature of our service should always be at a boiling point. It should never cool down to where it becomes lukewarm. It should always be at a boiling point. And the Lord has given us what we need to keep that fervency at a boiling point. Do I have any witnesses in the house? But not only, St. Mark, are we admonished to love genuinely and to serve diligently, but in verses 13 and 15, Paul says we should give freely. Are y'all with me this morning? He said we should also give freely. Hardships were commonplace in the New Testament church. Back in the day when Paul wrote this letter, back in the first century, back when the church was still young and Christianity was trying to spread from one region to the other region. See, everybody didn't love the Lord. Hardship was commonplace in the New Testament church because of persecution. And it became critical for the believers who had more than enough to share out of their abundance with those who were in need. It became critical to the growth, to the expansion of the church for those who was a little blessed, better off than the next person, to share their abundance with those who found themselves in need. Now I know, St. Mark, I know today the church is not being persecuted. Not like it was back then, but just because the church is not being persecuted doesn't mean that we are exempt from hardships. Do I have any witnesses? Just because we're not being persecuted like the church was back then, it doesn't mean that we are exempt from hardships. As a matter of fact, some of us right now, we're just one event away from our own hardships. Some of us are just one layoff away from your own hardship. Some of us are just one medical diagnosis away. Get sick with the wrong thing. Yeah, you may have insurance, Cobra, and Cigna. You may have a few dollars in the bank, but get sick with the wrong thing. See on hardship come knocking at your door. Some of us are one calamity, one catastrophe away from your own hardship. But St. Mark, if hardship happen to come, isn't it comforting to know that there is somebody there to help see you through whatever it is you're going through? Where you don't have to go through that hardship all by yourself. And you may think, well, everything is rose and everything is fine right now. Keep on living. Keep on living. Hard times either come early. I wish I had some different. Or sometime it wait and it comes later in life. But it's comforting to know that if hardships so happen to come and knock at my door, that there is somebody. There's somebody who could be there to help see me through it. Now, can I just put a pin in this message right here and just digress a little bit real quickly? Can I just digress real quickly? The Bible doesn't teach us to help people who are just being downright lazy and trifling. Let me get a sip of water. No. The Bible doesn't teach us to help people who are just being downright lazy and trifling. As a matter of fact, the Bible says if he won't work, if he don't work, he don't have a seat at the table. If you're dealing with somebody who is hard-headed, who is stubborn, who is defiant, who won't listen to sound advice, who won't listen to wisdom, who won't listen to experience, but yet they still go on and do what they want to do anyway, and then when they bump their head against the wall and they find themselves between a rock and a hard place, then they come calling you. The Bible don't teach you to help somebody like that. See, because when you do really what we are doing, we are rewarding bad behavior. And Rev Berry don't mind helping people. I don't have much, but what little bit I do have, I don't mind helping folks. But I'm not going to help somebody who was downright lazy, hard-headed, defiant, and just too plain on trifling. Because see, I know if I do that, I have now become an enabler. And see, an enabler is somebody who goes from helping you to hurting you. And I'm not trying to hurt you. If I can't help you, I'm not going to hurt you. We need to stop rewarding bad behavior. We need to stop catering to people who are just being defiant. People being defiant to authority. People being defiant to the parents, defiant to anybody. You know, won't listen. Want to do what they want to do. But then every time they find themselves between a rock and a hard place, they won't help. The Bible is not talking about helping folks like that. You're rewarding the wrong kind of behavior. Perhaps, saying, well, if you just let them stay where they are, in between that rock and a hard place, where it don't matter which way they turn, it's still hard. Let them stay there. Because sometimes the Lord is trying to work on them, but we get in the Lord's way. And so you know what the Lord has to do? He has to start putting something on you to get you out of His way so He can deal with that hardness. The Lord is trying to help somebody today. The Lord is trying to help somebody today. Somebody got some grown person at home right now living with them. Should have been gone. But because you an enabler, they're not learning. And we got to be more disciplined than that. We really got to put some God on them. We really got to put some words on them. Then we may start seeing a transformation. Can I get back to this text now? I feel a little better now. I laid my burden down. Notice if you will, Saint. Let me just finish this. I'm really going too long. Let me finish this. Paul says we should give freely. And notice here, he says, when the opportunity presents itself, where there is somebody who's in need, and no fault of their own, just life circumstances has happened. A hardship has come their way. Paul says, when that opportunity presents itself, he says there's three ways that we can help that person in need. He says one way is financial. That's why he says in verse 13, share with God's people who are in need. In a book that I read a few years ago entitled How to Speak Money, Ali Vashi and Christine Romans, they wrote that as a matter of fact that money is the world's global language. Oh, y'all hear me? Yeah, money is the world's global language. And they went on to say how China speaks money. Japan speaks money. Germany speaks money. The United States speaks money. And Berry wants to add bill collectors. They speak money. Rev Berry can pick up the phone tomorrow morning, all he wants to. Call down to TXU Electric. This is Rev Berry. What? Proud assistant pastor of the St. Mark Missionary Baptist Church, located on the southeast side of Dallas, just a stone's throw away from the State Fair of Texas, in particular 4536 Phillip Street. I'm calling on behalf of brother so-and-so or sister so-and-so past due bill. But check this out. Until I start speaking money, y'all missing this. Until I start speaking money to TXU Electric, brother so-and-so or sister so-and-so light bill or lights are going to stay off. It's not until I pull out my debit card or my credit card and authorize payment that the light's going to come on. All I'm trying to say is this, Saint, that sometimes people's need are financial. And we need to be willing we need to be willing to help those who are in need. Because today it could be them. Tomorrow it could be Rev Berry. And if it's Rev Berry, I would like to be able to, with a straight face, with a clear conscience, be able to come to somebody, can y'all help me? Why? Because I know that I was willing to do it and did it my own self. Am I making any sense? Am I taking too long with this message? But Paul says sometimes the need is not financial, it's material. So he says in verse 13, not only do we share, he said, but we should practice hospitality. Say, Mark, what good is it? What good is it if a brother or sister who's in dire need of food and clothing, and all we can offer them are some words? You know, words like, brother, I'm praying for you. I'll be praying for you, brother. Gone now, but I'll be praying for you. But we don't do nothing to help better their condition. James says, what good is that? He says, really, we're being hypocritical. Because we're pretending that we care about them, but we're not willing to do anything about it. And we have the nerve to say, I'm praying for you, and that's the reason why the Lord sent them to you in the first place. Because you are the answer to the prayer. Am I making any sense today? Paul says when opportunity presents itself, we need to be willing to help. Sometimes the need is financial, but then there are other times the need is not financial, it's material. But then there are times when the need is not financial or material, it's emotional. That's why he says in verse 15, we are to rejoice with those who rejoice and weep with those who weep. It's been suggested that Paul put rejoice in front of weep because he knows it's easy to weep with somebody, but it can be difficult to rejoice with somebody if jealousy is in the way. Especially if we are jealous of the person who just got blessed. Because what they got is what we've been wanting. But the Lord opted to give it to them first. And so it's hard to rejoice if there's jealousy involved. And Paul says, don't hate. He said, don't hate. Celebrate with him. Because it could be the Lord is testing you. You could be next in line for the blessing. But because you hate, the Lord said no. If we're going to have right relationships with others, Paul says, first we need to love genuinely. We need to also serve diligently. The temperature of our service for the Lord should always be at a boiling point. Because lukewarm service is not acceptable to God. But then he says we should give freely. You never know. One day hardship will come to your house. And it sure would be nice to have somebody there to help you. When it does. Let me just go ahead and finish this real quickly. Last but not least, he says that we should think correctly. I think that's in verse 16. We should think correctly. In the Declaration of Independence, Thomas Jefferson wrote, all men were created equal. Do I have any historians in the house today? To the point where justice ought to be blind to things like gender, race, even social status. And we all know it's one thing to say that. Oh, but it's another thing to practice it. Just here recently. Just here recently, we see the ugliness that still plagues this country rear its head, and how our leader really is failing to represent as he should. But for St. Mark, if any place we ought to find equality, it ought to be it ought to be in the church. Now, I'm not saying that all of us are equal when it comes to power, when it comes to possessions, when it comes to positions, because all of us are not equal when it comes to those things. See, all of us are not going to be the next Oprah Winfrey. That's just the truth of it. Have a multi-billion-dollar empire, and even have a TV network that bears your initials. OWN, a play on words. Owned by who? Oprah Winfrey Network. All of us not going to be large and in charge, like Oprah Winfrey. And I don't disparage anybody who wants to improve their quality of life for themselves and even for their families. You know, I'm not against nobody going back to college and getting an education and getting certification so that they can improve the quality of their life. But does a person have to have all these things to be treated with love and respect? That's what Paul is saying to us here. Paul says we're not Jew, we're not Gentile, we're not slave, we're not free, we're not male, we're not female, but we're all one in Christ Jesus. See, St. Mark, when we start thinking of each other, we shouldn't think of each other as what we have. When we think of each other, we shouldn't think about what we have. Power, possession, positions. But we should think about each other as to who we are. And that is a person of worth, a person of value, just like the next person. Paul says if we're going to be in harmony with each other, we're going to have to put things like arrogance, things like conceit in check. And we're going to have to start treating each other not as what we have, but who we are. Treating each other as equals. He said if we do that, we can be of the same mind. We can have harmony. We can be unified as God would have us to be. And we can take this unity and we can demonstrate it before the world. Right relationship requires that we love genuinely, serve diligently, give freely, but also think correctly. Lord willing, we'll come back. We'll finish this chapter at another time. Why don't you give God a hand clap? We want to give someone a chance to come to the Lord today. By Christian experience. If you're here today, we invite you to come. have brothers here who are standing. They will assist you with this time of decision making. If you want to accept Christ, this is your time. But if you've already accepted Christ, you don't have a church home, and you find that St. Mark is that place, we invite you to come as the musicians play and as our choir sings. We're waiting on you. Speak to her spirit right now. Let her know that everything is all right. And everything is going to be all right. Pray, Lord, that you would give her the patience that she needs to give you a chance to work out whatever it is that she's going through. And Father, once the victory has been realized, we ask that you would give her a thankful and grateful heart and offer up praise to you for all the things that you've done on her behalf. We pray to give her peace. It's in Jesus' name. Let the church say amen. Go ahead, please. Sunday, and we want to prepare ourselves for this time of giving and receiving. If we can get some representatives to come help us with this offering. And so we want to do two for the price of one today. As you come around and you give your offering, go back. We'll bless the offering and we'll give the benediction at the same time. Amen? March. Those of us in Sunday school this morning, did you have a great time? And what about our worship service today? Let's keep what has been said in mind. Let's trust God for the difference. I pray that we have a great week and that if the Lord said the same, we can see each other on the next time. To all of our guests, our visitors, thank you for being part of this worship service. We know that in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, we have plenty of options to choose from, but you chose St. Mark. St. Mark, we want to thank you for being with us today. Our Father in heaven, thank you for these gifts. We pray that you will bless them. Now we ask that you would dismiss us from this place, but never from your presence. Keep us until we meet again. In Jesus' name, amen. Be blessed.